to the principle that the president is not only above the law, but that he is the law, end quote. The issue of refusing to appear before Congress, just that one count of impeachment, what is, in my mind, is that a, or I'm asking, is that a constitutional issue or a policy issue? And what justification can there possibly be to the degree that the president has employed this tactic to justify its use in the context that this president has done so? Please, Mr. Anderson.
Well, it's clearly a constitutional issue. It's not just a matter of policy. And it goes right to the core of our constitutional system. It's up to Congress as to whether its power is going to slip through its fingers. And now is the time to assert Congress's power. It's not waiting for the goodwill of another president, hoping that they will restrain themselves. It is up to Congress. And, you know, it's unbelievable in this body how people have cavalierly downplayed the abuses of power that go far beyond what was talked about during the Nixon impeachment, which, by the way, they didn't end in the articles of impeachment. They weren't talking about criminal offenses per se. They were talking about abuses and breaches of trust and subversion of constitutional government. Here, it is absolutely unprecedented. It's not a matter of whether you like it or not. It's not a matter of policy. It has been a matter of egregious violations of domestic statutory law, laws passed by this Congress, treaties that have been ratified by the Senate, and the Constitution. We're talking about violations of those laws that prohibit torture, the indefinite detention of American citizens with no due process, no lawyers, no trials, no charges against them, absolutely unprecedented. Kidnapping, disappearing, and torturing people around the world, and then the FISA violations, which, again, they want to be downplaying those, saying, well, other people have caused the warrantless wiretapping of this sort. Never has a president, in engaging in warrantless wiretapping, before violated the terms of FISA, which provide that every instance is a felony.
Once somebody's out of office, you can't impeach them. But we need to, we definitely need to raise the standard, and that's the aspiration I have when I say I don't want this to be a substitute for political participation. I want the American people to impeach this president in November of 2008. And this whole administration and all of its concepts that have been associated with it, including the notion that the president can protect me from terrorists by doing whatever in the hell he wants to do.
As Barbara Jordan said, I remember many years ago in the impeachment proceedings of Richard Nixon, the executive has no power that we don't give it. We, the people, is the beginning of the Constitution of the United States. It's not whether there are limits on the executive power, it's whether we've given the executive power to do what he's doing. That is a critical element of thinking properly about our Constitution. Now, it was said by a previous speaker that all presidents have flouted law during wartime, but I think, number one, it's incorrect as a historical matter, but number two, this particular war is different than all others because it's permanent. It will never end. The definition of an end is when there will never be anyone who threatens an American with a terrorist incident in any way in the Milky Way. No one has even conceived of a benchmark that says the war is over. So this is permanent war. Exactly what James Madison said was inconsistent with freedom. And with regard to presidents who spied, it's certainly true that they spied without warrants and had abuses. That's what led to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, precisely what Liz Holtzman explained. It's one thing for a president to act when there's no express congressional prohibition. It's quite another to say, we don't care what Congress has said, the law is irrelevant to me, I can act on my own initiative. The last thing I'd like to say